Kuipers. Start with the outside. This is the car that Grandpa's driving. And that Shonda and I are driving now. $14.09 Locust.
Ready?
Yeah.
Hello, I'm William Kuipers, and most people call me Bill for short, the son of Garrett and Kurt Kuipers, Vanderkoy, and their parents were, my father's parents were Richard Kuipers, married to Hilda Vandergold. And my mother's grandparents were Willem Vanderkoy. His wife's name, her maiden name was DeRose, Josephine DeRose. And they came to America in about 1891. They homesteaded near Morris, Iowa.
They came from Holland.
That is my grandparents did. And they lived there for about 13 years, and they moved to the Hull area, and where they lived ever since, till he died. The place is now owned by Mosses. Henry Moss is living there today, and they went good, and my mother was 13 years old when she moved down here, and she finally married Garrett Kuipers. And they farmed around Hull all their life. I was born 2 miles south of Hull, and then we moved 5 miles northeast of Hull, and then we moved 6 miles west of Hull. And then they moved back to the old farm, the old Vanderkoy farm, 4 miles south of Hull.
What year were you born?
I was born in October 9th, 1907. I was 3 years old when we moved northeast of town, and I was 10 years old when we moved to Rock Valley area, so that's where I really grew up. I remember in about 1911, I lost a little sister just older than I was, of polio. And the family has always been around, in and around Hull. And finally on, we live in Hull.
How many brothers and sisters did you have, and what were their names?
Josie was the oldest one, married Sidney Bogard. And Richard was the second one, and married Frances Lugins. And then my little sister that died when I was 3 years old, I can still remember some of the things of her. And I was born in 1907, and my brother Isaac was born in 1909, and Hilda was born in 1911, and Agnes, who married Dick DeFries, was married, lived in Sanborn. And they've all passed away but me. I'm the only one left. We're living in Hull. I'm retired. Have our own home. But I've never had welfare. I worked for...
What were your jobs as you grew up? What was the first job you ever had?
And we moved to Rock Valley area. My father bought a farm there, and it was a small farm, 113 acres. And then we got the Depression in 1921 and 22. And I can remember that Depression well. I know my parents were very poor and hard up. we lived through it. Then I got to be 15 years old, and there was no work for all of us on the farm. Brother Richard, older than I was, had pneumonia real bad one time, and he was always weak and not very strong. So Father didn't have work for all of us, so I worked out when I was 15 years old for $35 a month.
You had to stop school then.
Yes, I planned on going to high school, but I couldn't do that because of the financial situation. I worked there 1 year, and then with the agreement that I'd start school again, high school again in the fall, but I never made it. I never got there. And then I worked for Ed DM 7 years, and then I
What did you do for Ed DeYoung?
did farm work there.
Mm-hmm.
And, not a large farm, but a good-sized farm. We demanded a hired man.
What type of work did you do as a hired man there?
Well, I did all kinds of work, all farm work. I milked the cows and fed the hogs and took care of the chickens. And in those days, each farmer had some cows to milk, we had some hogs to feed, and they had a bunch of chickens which brought in the groceries for the cream check and the egg check. And my best hobby was breaking horses.
You broke horses?
Broke young horses, yes.
Hmm. Were they quarter horses?
Yeah, they were work horses.
Mm-hmm.
And, that was my hobby, really, just work with horses. That was
And you worked for him for how long?
for 7 years.
For 7 years. Until you were about 22.
Yes, I was 23.
Mm-hmm.
And then I worked there that long, and then I worked in the implement shop, and I worked for the town, and I worked for the county, and I always made my own way. We got married in 1933, the year after the Great Depression set in. Best I could do was $1 a day and a quart of milk.
Hmm.
We paid $11 house rent, so we had $14 left to spend. And then we take our church collections out first, and some other obligations, and the rest we could live on. We didn't even hook up the electricity the first year. We got an Aladdin lamp for birthday present, and we used that. And Florence did her washing and ironing by her mother, so we didn't need that. So we got by the best way we could.
How old were you, and how did you meet Grandma, Florence Kuipers?
I met
What was her maiden name?
her. My wife's name was Florence Claremont, and we met on a RCYF meeting, and we went together ever since, and we got married in 1930. Got married in 1933, when the Depression was still on.
And what year did you meet? Did you get...
We met in about 1930.
Mm-hmm.
We met. We kept company for about 2 years, and then we married. And
Where did she grow up?
she grew up around Hull, in and around Hull. She was born a mile north and 3 miles west of Hull.
What year?
At least, and she was born in 1905.
So she was quite a bit younger than you then when you got
Just a
married.
year and a half.
Oh, just a year and a half.
Year and a half younger.
Mm-hmm.
Judy was born in 1934. And then we had Glenn, who was born in 1937. And they grew up in all there.
Mm-hmm.
They went to the Christian school and later on to Western High School and Northwestern College. That's where they got their college degree.
So how old were you when you met you met Grandma? How old were you when you got married?
I was 25 when we got married, so I was about 22 years old.
Mm-hmm. And what
23 years.
work were you doing at that time?
I was still working on the farm by the day.
Okay.
I'd have to drive out about 2 miles to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
Then Judy Glenn married Shirley Scott. They moved to Harlan, Iowa, which they were there about 5 or 6 years. Then they moved to Ames. And taught at the university for several years. Got his degree. And then he got a job in extension work. He's today an
Area director.
an area extension director.
Mhm.
He's over 8 counties in northeast Iowa. And he's doing that today. They had 3 children. Keene was the oldest one. She married Rhonda.
Bootsma.
I forget.
What's that?
They had Lynn. She married Brad. Brad Hamstra. They have 3 children. Christopher, Allie, and Megan. And they had Mark. Married Shonda
Rolfs.
Ross.
Mm-hmm.
Sid's oldest child was Sean.
What year did my father and mother get married? What year did Sid and Judy get married?
Oh, let me think.
Those are hard ones.
I can tell you that.
Okay. What are go through Sid's children?
Well,
Sid and
Sean was-
Judy's.
I went to Christian school in Sioux Falls. He graduated, and then he went to high school in Sioux Falls. Graduated then, then went to Vermillion and took a medical course and became a doctor. He graduated from med school and was doing intern work and was killed in an automobile accident. And Judy and Lynn married Jay Roth. They live in Minneapolis. And they have 1 child named Sean. And they have a daughter in Michigan that's working in Michigan, and she's working in a cafe
It's Beth.
and tried to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
She went through Westminster Seminary, and with the idea of getting a PhD degree in Christian education, but ran out of funds. And she hopes someday to get back there and finish her course. Then she had twins, Nathan and Nolan.
Judy had.
Nathan is doing social work, counseling. He lives in Beersford, South Dakota. Nate Nolan is in Laverne. He went through college and became a mortician. And, he's working for a funeral home in Laverne at the present time.
So what was your next job after, what other jobs did you have besides working as a hired man on a farm? You worked at a service station.
I began to be worried about what I'd do in the wintertime. I was working for George the Groat for $1 a day, and he asked me to pick his corn for him, which I told him I would. Then I began to worry about what I was going to do next winter. And about this time of the year, about in August sometime, they had a meeting in the old opera house in town here, and which was the PWA started, and I went there and applied for work. And then about just before corn picking time, I got a letter from the PWA that wanted to see me in Mars, Iowa at 7 o'clock on Monday morning, and they were going to start work on number 75, get that ready for pavement.
What is the PWA?
Yeah, and
What is the PWA?
Public Works Administration.
Okay.
And I showed George the Groat this, and he says, "I wish you'd pick corn for me." I said, "I'm going to that. I don't need this now." So I didn't go. And we picked corn. I picked corn for 2 cents a bushel. I was the fastest picker, but I averaged 110 bushels that year through the whole season. So I had
Is that 110 bushels?
$2.20 a day.
Mm-hmm.
And when it cost me a pair of gloves every day, so that I had $2 left. So I was working for for $2 a day. And PWA paid 50 cents an hour, and they worked 6 hours a day. They had $3 a day. But then I met the supervisor uptown. He says, "How you doing, Bill?" I says, "It's getting pretty thin." And he says, "It's bad." I says, "It won't be long, and that's starve or steal." And he says, "Then you better starve, because then you'll bury you with honors." And I did. But after that old fellow pushed everything my way he could. He came to me in George Spring. He says, "The fellow that's taking care of the poll tax business in this district is quitting." And you can have that job. He says, "Only $2, 2 hours, 2 days a week, but it's something." So I did that for a while, and then in the fall.
You're collecting taxes?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then he came to me. He says that the guy that's running the maintainer is quitting. He bought a corn sheller. And you better have that. You can do that. That's 2 days a week. It isn't much, but it's always something. But then in summertime, it would be a full-time job. So I was going to work one morning at John Boats, and told me he'd pay me $1.25 a day if I'd haul the manure for him. I was doing that, and the fellow was walking on the street. He was working on PWA. He says, "You're going my way. You want to ride along a block or two?" I said, "No." Then he jumped on the running board, and he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I was manure for John Boat." "What are you getting? $1.25 a day?" He said, "I wouldn't work for no damn farmer for $1.25 a day." Well, I says, "Well, Frank, this is free America." I says, "You can do what you want to do, but I'm working for $1.25 a day." Well, and then I got on this maintainer job. I was doing that.
Maintaining what?
Maintaining the county roads.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't much gravel on the roads yet that day. only about 5 miles north of town, and there was about 6 miles of the Rock Valley that had to be taken out. They had to go over that 2 days a week. And I was doing that, and then I was on a full-time job, taking care of the county roads.
What year was that?
Oh, it was... That's about 34, that's about 1934.
Uh-huh.
And then I came home one night and Mom said to me, Bolt was here today, he said, but he wants you to put an application in a gas station in town that needed a man. I said, I have a job now. And she said, yeah, I know, but she said, it'd be a nice cleaner job, and I said, you'd be home for dinner and all that. Well, I said, that's the way you feel about it, write out an application and I'll get cleaned up and I'll bring it to the board meeting, which I did. And 10 o'clock that night, there was a rap at the door, and I went out, and there were 2 board members from the gas station that wanted to talk to me. So I went to the board meeting, and they hired me that night for $60 a month.
Hmm.
And I worked there for 8.5 years.
What were your responsibilities there?
Just general work. It was just a small station, and take care of the pumps and fix tires and grease cars and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked there for 8.5 years. And then I bought a corn sheller. Went out shelling corn. And I did that ever after since. My business kept growing, and I bought another sheller, and kept growing, and I bought another sheller, and I bought a baler. So I had 3 corner shellers and a baler. But then, as Glenn was growing up, and he came to me, he said, Dad, I believe I'll go to college next fall. I said, so you don't want to go to college? So why don't you stay with me? I can expand enough so we can both live out of this. Well, we talked for a little while, and he said, well, my mind's made up. I said, then we aren't going to talk anymore, then you're going to college, which he did. But if you go to college, I'm going to sell the baler. Well, he said, don't do that. He said, I want to bale in the summertime. I said, yeah, but that won't work out. I said, we have an older year, and the first cutting of alfalfa will be put up when you get out of school. And the straw and the second crop will be for you, and the third crop will be after you're back in school, so it will work out. So then I sold the baler. He baled that summer, and the next year he worked on this. They built a new elevator in Sioux Center, and he worked on that all summer. And he worked hard for his education too. And Mom went to college, became a teacher. And she's still teaching school today. Always first grade.
Grandma became a first grade teacher?
Mm-hmm.
What year did she do that? She went to college to learn how to do that?
Yeah. She went to...
Did she go to Northwestern?
She went to Northwestern.
Mm-hmm.
They needed 2 years of college in those days to get a job teaching in the grade school, and she had those 2 years. Later on, she got her degree.
So she taught first grade for a lot of years, huh?
Pardon?
She taught first grade for a lot of years.
Oh, yes. Now we're retired. I get some retirement education for working for the town for a few years. And we get a Medicare check, Social Security check. And we have our house paid for. And all this, we have a little reserve, so that's how we're living today.
When did you move to this house with Grandma?
1940.
1940.
We lived here 54 years already.
54.
In 1938, we had a car accident, and Mom was more hurt so bad that she couldn't talk again.
1988. Yeah.
1988, never could talk again. She couldn't swallow. She was in the home for 3.5 years and finally passed away.
1991.
1991.
And she's up there waiting for you, Grandpa.
Yeah, I know it. Our Bible tells us that we must lay up for ourselves treasures on earth where moth and rust corrupt and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourself treasures in heaven where moth and rust do not corrupt and where thieves do not break through and steal. So we have treasures in heaven. And we're looking forward to being here together.
Mm-hmm.
And also have a little grandchild, a stillborn child. I'm sure he's there and I'll get to see him.
That's Keen's son, Ethan. And Keen also has Derek William, named after Grandpa. Keen also has Derek William, the middle name named after you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
So what do you remember about the about World War II?
World War II. Well, I was right in the draft. I had my physical, and they changed that a little bit, and they figured gelling corn was a farm work, so they put me in a different class, and then I was put in class 3. I didn't have to go to service.
So if you'd have been doing some of that other work instead of farm work, you probably would have been sent.
I'd been in service.
Mm-hmm. And what year were you married to Grandma?
33.
Do you remember your wedding day?
Yes.
Tell me about your wedding.
Oh,
Was it outside here, or was it at the church?
no. We got married in the home, in the Claremont home. We couldn't afford a honeymoon, so we stayed home.
Did Grandma look beautiful that day? Did Grandma look beautiful that day?
Oh, yes. Had a beautiful dress on. We started going together and we never quit. We got married, for which I'm very thankful.
Mm-hmm. It's quite a blessing.
There's nothing like a couple gets married when they're both Christian, dedicated Christian people. And they turn that into their children, and they bring up and nurture and admonition of the Lord. And of course they've been chosen vessels.
What's your favorite part of the Bible?
That's all dear to me. I started reading Genesis 1 in the first part of February. And then about on the 23rd or 4th chapter of Acts at this time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go through the Bible in a year,
Yeah.
inside of a year.
It's great.
Oh, yes.
And how many times do you think you've read the Bible?
I don't know. When a person is born in a Christian home where God's word is always read and where prayer is always offered. You hear that Bible read to you. And then I worked out a lot when always in Christian homes where God's word was regularly read. And then we started a home of our own, and we, of course, we followed that. Of course, I always read the Bible. When you get to be 86 years old, you've gone through that Bible quite a few times. You know a lot of it.
Yeah.
But you know, you always see something new.
It's amazing how he reveals new things.
I was reading one time when it comes to Ephesians 1 verse 4. Where it says that our destination was known of God before he laid the foundation of the world. And that's something, isn't it? We have to believe that. Because God is all-knowing.
Mm-hmm. It's a mystery, isn't it?
It's a mystery. But just read that now lately where Paul was on his third missionary journey and he heard a voice from Macedonia said, come over in Macedonia and help us. And he went over there and he worked there and there was no synagogue there, no church there, but he went to the riverside where prayer was one to be known by the group of women. He went to that meeting and he talked to them. It says there, and Lydia, the seller of purple cloth, was there, whose heart the Lord opened. And she took Paul in and housed him while he was there. See, we don't know. We kind of get quite an idea of ourselves once in a while, that I'll do this and I'll do that. But you don't come until you go the Lord's way. The Bible tells us, by grace are you saved through faith, that not of yourselves, it is a gift of God, lest any man should boast. And all our blessings we have is the grace of God given us, and first of all, that thing is salvation. And how do we know we're a Christian? If God's Spirit agrees with our spirit, we're the children of God. Now, it's by grace that is given to us.
And by the blood of Christ.
By the blood of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Flowers.
You planted these flowers along here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most of them are roses, and my favorite. That seems to be my favorite flower.
Roses are your favorite, huh?
I don't know much about flowers. I don't know how to take care of them. Those lines are so short that at the time they come up, I'm green. I got in the hospital, you know, when I was in the hospital 3 weeks, and then I was in the home 3 weeks.
That was for your eyes, huh?
Yeah, oh no, they took 18 inches out of my colon.
Yeah. Because you had colon cancer last year?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a checkup.
You're doing pretty good now.
And everything seems to be. Here I got another rose plant. And then I just planted one over there with that just made that trellis.
Mm-hmm. You made that, huh? Do you make that in your workshop?
Yeah. So I didn't get my muskmelon in this year.
And there used to be a barn back here, huh?
Yeah.
Right in this area.
That's rhubarb along the fence there, and then my cleanup lady, she's got some squash in here.
Mm-hmm.
They're growing real good.
She comes twice a week to help you with the house.
No, once every two.
Once every 2 weeks. Oh.
Yeah.
I was wrong. I remember playing in the barn with Nathan and Nolan all the time.
Yeah,
That's where you used to store your shellers?
that's right.
And you used to have such good apple trees along here, but they got taken down now, huh?
Yeah.
And along here, there's one there, one there. Big one right there.
Right over there.
Good old, what kind of apples were they? Were they Golden Delicious apples?
No, they were, it was a crab. One was a crab. And the best crab I ever tasted. It was a late one. Real late. And it bore every year.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't give it away. We had all the canned crabs we wanted and we couldn't give them away. And finally on they built that new house and they took the tree down. And that's where the other trees were too, the apple trees.
Mm-hmm.
No, they were not delicious. They were
Does that well still work?
that cistern, yeah.
The cistern there?
See, the house used to set south of the cistern.
Oh really? It used to
Yeah.
set that way.
And then we made a new foundation over here and we moved the house over on that and then I could sell that lot, see.
I see. I didn't know that. This is your workshop over here. Let's go see that in a minute.
And look where that house is and where the trail is all, that all used to be our pasture.
Used to have a pasture back here, huh?
With cows in there. So that's the square over there. Now I'm going to sow this back down to grass, I think.
You're gonna sow the garden back down, huh?
Yeah.
And you used to have a big old tree in this back corner of the house.
Oh, yeah, great big tree. Beautiful.
Big tree. Got struck by lightning twice, didn't it?
Oh, it died of the elm disease.
Of what?
Elm disease.
Elm disease. We used to climb in that all the time too.
This whole backyard.
Stove.
Yeah.
It used to get so warm in here. I remember we could come in here in the dead of winter and you had your overalls on and...
And if it's real cold, I'd close that door and then just have this little...
Yeah.
But look at this
It
work.
was always so cozy in here.
Look at this workbench over there. It's just a mess. Gotta get the...
Gonna clean it up, huh? That's your next
Get it all
project.
cleaned up. So I made this thing, this tool rack.
You made what?
I made this tool rack. Working on that too. Getting that filled in with tools.
Oh, I see.
So then I can sit here and work, and if I need a wrench, I'll you know where it is, you know, turn this thing.
Well, that's a good idea.
Put a lamp up here, so.
Mm-hmm.
See?
When did you start that project?
Oh, 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
I've got to get that organized. See, I can put tools on this side and there, and
You still roll your own cigarettes, Grandpa?
yeah.
When did you start smoking?
And I was 14 years old.
And how come your lungs still work?
I don't know. There's a little thing. I use that as a sharpen my bits,
Oh yeah.
steel bits.
Does that work for fingernails too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. You got it all here, don't you? Wonder how many tools you have, Grandpa. I've always wondered that. 3 billion or something like that. Just wrenches. And drill press.
There's my fan. Keep it cool in here.
Oh, that's your air conditioning, huh?
Yeah.
That doesn't work near as well as that heater does.
No, that's getting pretty old. That isn't hardly safe anymore.
That heater?
Yeah.
Into the garage. Now, when did you get that dump truck that you used to have? You had a dump truck and an end loader, right?
I had a tractor.
Tractor with an end loader.
I had 2 tractors, and I had one had a loader on, and one had a loose for plowing and stuff like that. So a lot of that's got to go to the junkyard.
Yeah, just unusable, huh?
Yeah.
What's that? That's a drill press, isn't it?
That's an antique
Yes.
drill press. That thing's going to be worth some money.
Yeah, it's got to be already.
See, that
Wow.
used to be turned by hand. See.
Uh-huh. Wow.
And a big flywheel on here. I use that for pulling now.
Yeah. Big old drill bits there in the wall, too.
Yep. But I can't weld anymore.
Can't weld anymore. How come?
Can't see anymore.
Oh, yeah. Need to get you a new set of eyeballs, I think.
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna.
Is this off of the cistern, this belt here?
Yeah.
You put a new one on there? Is that a replacement?
No,
Or?
this one doesn't fit on here. And I gotta place those cups different from what they are.
What's this here, Grandpa? Is this a saw? This green?
That's it's a power saw. I can't get blades for it anymore. It's outdated.
That's a lot like those Craftsman ones you have now.
Yeah.
So you had the dump truck and you used to haul garbage out to the
I have?
dump. I remember that. Riding along with you in your dump truck. You used to park it in here. And you had high ceilings on that other one to park it in here.
Can you get through here?
Yeah. That other end of the garage. Assortment of chicken wire here. Years and years of stuff stored up, huh? You're kind of a pack rat, aren't you, Grandpa? Can't throw anything away.
No, it's hard for me to throw anything.
I understand that. I couldn't. What's this now? This is a air compressor, huh?
Air compressor. I'm kind of proud of that.
Yeah.
That's Holding camp down there. He built it. He put those 2 tanks on there, and he used it for spray painting.
Mm-hmm.
But he couldn't get enough pressure.
Oh.
He's got a 1-horse motor on it, and he was working on it and discussed it. And I said, I made this thing and it hasn't got enough pressure.
So he gave it to you, or did you buy it off of him?
So what do you want for it? He says, $95. No. new one-horse motor on that.
Uh-huh.
What would that thing cost?
I don't know.
Over $100. He had all the spikes and everything. But he just had it on the stand. Didn't have any wheels under it. Here. You know what's wrong with it?
What?
It had an A belt on here. And you didn't have this pulley on.
Mm-hmm.
Pulley on here. And that's where you run it. An A belt, and then the dog started to slip when it got pressure on.
Oh, I see. So he could never build up the
No.
pressure that he wanted.
So that's, right now I got about 80 pounds of pressure in there right now.
Oh, yeah?
But I built this on there. I built wheels on it
Mm-hmm.
so I could pull it around. And I put this on here and I spray.
Mm-hmm.
You got 25 feet of air hose on there.
You gonna sell it back to him?
Sell it back to?
Yeah, he could use it for painting now.
No, I want to keep it.
When did you build this?
That's two years ago.
2 years ago.
See, I put my solution in here,
Mm-hmm.
and this is hooked up on those tanks. Put your sprayer on here. You spray the lawn with it, just pull it around and put it on your car.
And something. That's pretty nice, Grandpa.
But all them tanks, the compressor and the motor, look how much money you had in that.
Mm-hmm. How much did you buy it from him for?
I said, I'll give you 75. Oh, no, I can't do that. Well, I said, I bid you 75 and you want 95. I says, you come down $10 and I'll come up $10. Okay, he says. So,
That's the way to work them.
I've got this all over there.
Mm-hmm.
He just said that on the stand. It was so heavy.
It was heavy?